Hello and welcome back to How I See. On today's episode, we're going to go over making and painting the armor. We're going to look at plates like this, and we're going to go through printing, prepping for paint, and painting pieces to get this effect and the others. I'll be going over most of the armor plates. And for those of you who have already started on your own suit or are looking into it, you may know that paint is the hardest part of this suit, at least in my opinion. So we'll be going over in detail what paints I used and the lessons I've learned with paint, because it's been quite the wild ride. So without further ado, I'll cut to the montage. Here I'm hitting the print with a 120 grit pad on this powered sander. Later I'll go to a 220 and then spray it with filler primer. This is all to smooth out the print and get rid of those print lines or layer lines that you get. I like to use a soldering iron with a flat tip bit to go back in and cut details and smooth out some difficult to get areas on the prints. In this case, I smoothed out the corners and cut some more defined teeth into the signet on the shoulder pad. First round of many of spraying these with the filler primer spray paint to fill in those layer lines.
on these pieces in the back, I'm using this opportunity to do a paint color test between a couple different spray cans.
Doing some more sanding, this time with a 600 grit hand piece of sandpaper to get it ready for the actual base coat. Primer going on the leg pieces as well as the gauntlets here. Hours and hours of sanding going in before you actually get to put in some of the color, even the base coat on these parts. Finally on to getting a base coat on the shoulder pieces. And the silver, the silver goes under the clear, and then the graphite rubs into the clear. Going nice and slow here. It's important to make sure that as you spray with the spray paint can, that you keep an even coat across the part. And it's better to spray it a couple times going on light but multiple layers than to do a single heavy layer. Here I'm rubbing on the graphite. Just watch how it transforms this silver spray paint into an actual metallic look. It really is quite impressive how reflective and metallic an effect the graphite rub does to this paint.
comparison between no graphite and graphite. The graphite really adds the depth and the actual metallic look to the paint that the metallic paints really just don't have. I rub the graphite on with a foam brush. I found that it does a really good job of spreading the graphite powder into the paint but not scratching it, and it can hold quite a bit. So you just one dab into the graphite jar and you can rub down an entire piece of armor. I'm doing a two-stage color coat here for the legs, starting with a dark brown as kind of the base coat, and then I go on to a light brown for the top coat to get the color that I was looking for. This blue was actually lighter than I wanted it to be, so I went back and kind of mixed the black and the blue together, and it came out enough darker that I liked it.
Alright, let's talk the painting process. This is probably the most complicated, time-consuming, and frustrating part of making this armor, so hopefully I can help you guys out with this a bit. To start, once you've sanded down your piece, usually going through, or at least I went through a 120 and a 220 grit with my power sander, then a couple coats of filler primer. This is the Rust-Oleum filler and sandable primer 2-in-1. It's really good. Pretty much anyone making this armor is using it because it acts as a primer for the paint, but it also does a good job of filling in the cracks, and you can go back and sand it smooth. So copious amounts of this, probably initial sand, 2 or 3 coats of this, resand, 2 or 3 coats of this, and then sand again, working your way up 600, 1000 grit to get the best finish. Then you've got your base coat. I base coat everything in black. You've got 2 good options, is the Rust-Oleum High Gloss Black and the Rust-Oleum Pro Grade Gloss Black Enamel. Both of these are good. You can pick this one up at Walmart and this one at Lowe's or Home Depot, or both of them online. I prefer the High Performance Enamel because it goes on thick and it's very durable. It does outgas more and take longer to cure, but I've painted parts of the exterior of my car with this, and the paint still looks great quite a bit later. So the paint holds up really well. So that's why I use that as my base coat. Then you've got your color coat. Here are 3 of the color coats for the metal that I tried. You've got the Rust-Oleum High Gloss Silver, the Creality Metallic Silver, and then the Rust-Oleum Metallic Finish Bright Coat. If you are mixing paint brands, which I don't recommend, you can get some interesting paint reactions. With this, I got, in some cases, orange peeling, and sometimes the clear coat actually turned it black. So strange things can happen when you mix brands, so would not recommend. This is the paint I would go with, your Rust-Oleum Gloss Metal. Probably the best results came from this one. The metallic finish, which has the best finish on its own, I would not recommend because it does weird things to the clear coat. I've never seen this, but with different cans and different types of clear coat runs off of this like it's water. It's the weirdest paint reaction I've seen, but the clear coat like pools up and runs off of it and takes a long time to cure, and when it cures, it's this really thin, flaky layer. It's really strange. I haven't seen a paint reaction like it before, so I would stay away from this metallic finish Rust-Oleum. Your clear coat will not go on, and that clear coat is important for the graphite rub. Other base colors for your color coat that I've used for the leg piece, I used a base coat of dark brown of this Rust-Oleum satin enamel. I did 2 coats of this, and then a thin top coat of the just standard brown, and that helps keep it dark but give it the kind of rusty brown that is used in the show. On the hand plates for the tan, I used this Rust-Oleum satin enamel. It doesn't have a color on it, but it's a tan. So honestly, pick out whatever tan you think looks best. For the triangles on the hand plates as well as the hip plates, I used this wildflower blue. It's a fairly light blue, but I think I did a really good thick black base coat and a thin layer of this. I think once I weather it, it'll look really good on the hip plates. So that's the blue I went with there. For your non-chrome or non-metallic parts, I would use a matte clear coat, just this Rust-Oleum American Accents series matte clear coat. And then for your chrome pieces, I would use this crystal clear enamel. I would, after you do your silver color coat, spray this crystal clear enamel, and then you're going to do your graphite rub, and then spray this again. That graphite that you're going to need for the graphite rub is, I got mine from Chemical Store. I tried this stuff on Amazon. Worked terribly. I mean, did not give the effect I was looking for at all. I thought the whole graphite route might be a bust, and then I got this stuff from Chemical Store. It's much finer powder, and it has a completely different effect. The metallic shine that it gives is amazing. So, clear coat, graphite rub, clear coat again. Now the clear coat will take away some of the shine, some of the metallic finish from the graphite, but it's a choice between having your paint tarnish quickly, because that graphite will fingerprints leave imprints, or there's a reaction to fingerprints on it, as well as it can rub off on other things. Whereas once you clear coat it, it is not quite as nice a finish, but it's much durable. So I chose to clear coat mine just to keep it more durable. The effect is still pretty good. I like the way my chest plate turned out. I think it gives an accurate appearance to the show. So that is my method of painting. Lots of other people have different methods. This is honestly probably one of the cheaper methods, just because those that are taking the money out to use the same paints that are used in the shows, those paints are really expensive, and I honestly just like using spray paint. So that's the route that I took. I hope that was helpful, and I'd be interested to see what kind of paints you guys use if you're making your own armor as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video on how I made and painted my Mandalorian armor. There's still a lot of progress to go. I'm currently working on my gauntlets, as you can see on my desk, and we'll hopefully have content out for that soon. If you'd like to see more regular content, head over to Facebook and Instagram and follow How I See there for daily updates on build progress. If you haven't seen the video on how I made this helmet, click here to go watch it, and as always, like and subscribe. This is the way.